recording. So when you all are ready.
Okay.
No, not you. I was checking this more just to make sure that this is recording. I know this is. And so whenever you all are ready, you can begin at will. And I'm going to go back over here.
Call Keenan. And
yeah, whatever he's getting, you just get a little bit more of.
Yeah.
And you know, something maybe Darren and Steve might be thirsty too.
yeah. Get as much as he can get to drink.
Yeah. I'll pay you back with a drink tomorrow.
Man, please. Hey, Keno. New style. Hey, man, could you get as much as you can, man, like water, stuff to drink, okay? And like bottled waters, get like a case if you can for Tony. We're gonna
I don't need a case, just one tall bottle of water would be good, because I'm going home after I finish.
But you just have it here. Just get a case. Have a case here.
You're right, I'll take
and get whatever you can spend, okay? And call us when you get here so we can call us so we can let you in later.
No, here's what we can do. We can do this. Wait, I'm gonna give him the key card. Is he still here?
He's gone.
Okay. Well, call us and go let him in.
Yeah. He's gone. Okay.
Let me make sure this thing is recording before I sit back down. And then that way I won't be like, damn. But I'm sure it is. Let's see. That's blinking.
You can't see my towel, can you, on my knee?
I'm getting ready to do. No, I can't see it. This is what I see.
Okay, cool. All right.
And all right, well, good. So it's recording now, so y'all can start at will.
All right. Bob Peters, Dr. Gannon. So you're the founding member and the creator of the Doctors. So obviously the first question to ask you is how you came about the idea.
Okay. I'm the co-founder, but Darian, it was his idea to start a dance group, and he approached me several times, and I was kind of, Darian transferred from St. James Academy to Mendel, and we were in the same class, and he kept approaching me. He was like, "Hey, man, Bob Peters, man, Peters." We called everybody last names. Peters, man, let's start a dance group. And I was like, who is this guy? So he kept coming at me. And when I was a freshman, I had gone on a Soul Train in Chicago on down at the Board of Trade.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I danced. I won the contest. Me and Valerie Dunn, rest in peace, Valerie, from our Academy of Our Lady. We won the dance contest that day. So maybe Darian heard I could dance or something like that. So he kept asking me, and I finally said, okay, man, let's give it a shot. So we started practicing, and we worked hard. We both wanted to be really good. But there was a group on Soul Train already established, and they used to wear camouflage gear, military type gear, khakis. They called themselves the Baziz Boys, with a B like boy, like B like in butter, not D like David, but the Baziz Boys. So they had a cousin group also known as the Cure. So these guys, the way their dance style, I used to describe it like it was they were stepping, but they were by themselves. They didn't have a partner. When you normally step as two people, but they would make moves that were like individual. And then it was hot, it was cold, it was beautiful, man. And there was another group I give credit to is the Mellow Fellows, but that came after me and Darian decided to start our group, and that's where we met Laurent. But anyway, that's another story. So Darian goes, hey, let's start a dance group. And then after a while, we're like, well, what are we gonna call ourselves? So that's how we came up with the name, The Doctors, based on the Baziz Boys and the Cure. Because the Cure, they had names like penicillin, aspirin,
right.
Stuff like that. The Baziz Boys had names like arthritis, the things that were disease. So we were the doctors to cure the disease. That's how we got our name. And we all chose celebrity doctor names, and that's how we came up with that. And I'm so happy that it worked out that way, because it ended up working out pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, and so we started dancing. Skeeter, Dr. Doolittle, Andre Coleman saw us dancing at a church basement. He wanted to come in. He went to Mendel. He was a year older than us. And we said, okay. He started practicing, and we taught him the first dance we ever learned was off of Fly Like an Eagle by Steve Miller Band. And we got Jamie in the group. And
Well, yeah, that's one thing I do want to follow up on. Describe that, like how you and Darian came upon, decided to recruit for the group, and what the reasons were, what the specific reasons were.
Oh, good question. Well, like I said, Skeeter, Dr. Doolittle, he recruited us, really. But I did. Now my formula was, the Jackson 5. A bunch of guys, handsome guys, good school, dance and know how to dance. That was the formula. And all we really cared about was dancing. We didn't think that it was going to culminate into making a lot of money and being celebrated. I didn't know it was going to blow up the way it did, But the guys were all cool. They were all nice guys. Everybody had to, go through a little screening, but we ended up with a good group of guys. We had Dr. Kyle. We had Dr. Spumone, Quinn, rest in peace. Dr. Jekyll, Dave Harris, rest in peace. Tim, our manager, Tim Lynch, was Dr. Scholes. We had Anthony Somerville, Dr. Pepper, Steve Taylor, Dr. Ben Casey. Did I say Dr. Kylie, Jamie?
You did.
And Dr. Kildare was Darian Davis, and I was Dr. Gannon.
And Rory.
And Rory was Dr. Shrinker. Oh my God, y'all. Rory, that's a heck of a story in itself. Rory came to the group when we were seniors in high school, and we saw Rory dancing at a Mendel party. He was in 8th grade, you guys. He was in 8th grade. He went to St. Albie's, and it was funny because it was very competitive. Even though we were winding down and it was getting towards the end, it was still competitive. And our number one competition was the Ebony Gents. They lived in Pill Hill. Rory lived right over across Stony Island. So it became like a war. It was like a battle, because we wanted Rory to be in the Doctors, and the Ebony Gents wanted Rory to be in the Ebony Gents. And see, Rory grew up with those guys, so they knew him. We knew Rory through
His sister,
Casual,
right?
yeah, Robin. Casual came acquainted with Robin Brown. His sister that went to Seton, Elizabeth Seton. And so me and Rory talk about this all the time. We were fighting for Rory like he was a number 1 draft pick, like he was Patrick Ewing or something, and we were New York, okay? And then I went to his house. I went to his house one day, and his mother, because his mother wanted to meet somebody from the Doctors. Who are these doctors want my baby? Y'all want my son? What's up? So I went over there, and I said, Miss Brown, I can't promise you much. I said, but I can promise you that I'll look out for him. I'll take care of him. You don't have to worry about anything. I got you. We got you. He's going to be taken care of. And Robin, and he decided to join the Doctors. And I'm glad he did, because he was one of the better dancers, one of the better doctors that we had. And he to this day, he's not here today, unfortunately. He can't be here. But we miss Rory, and Rory will be back. Hopefully he can come and do something individually later. But we were a strong group, and I'm just thankful for the experience.
Speak on that, because when you were talking earlier, you were saying that you never thought it would blow up the way it did. What was it originally that you thought you guys would be able to do when you were getting everyone together to form the Doctors? What was the motivation, the goal? What were you trying to do?
Believe it or not, just to have the best dance group. That was it. That's all we wanted to do, man. If you ever seen a movie like Beach Street or something, they have movies now, Stomp or Stomp the Yard or things like that, where people compete within their communities and their environments. That's what I saw. I didn't see us making a lot of money like that. I didn't see us being on the cover of a newspaper. I didn't see me getting strange phone calls in the middle of the night from female voices like, "Hey, baby." All of that was just incredible to me. So, no, I never envisioned anything like that.
But aside from dancing, though, eventually we ended up giving parties.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. How did that come about? How did you end up wanting to do parties of any kind?
Good question. Well, the first party, when we put the group together, we were dancing. It's like kind of like making a song, a record, or music. If you go through a lot of trouble to make a song, well, you want people to hear it. You don't want to just have the song sitting on the shelf like, "Oh, I got this great song, man," but nobody hears it. So we had a great thing aesthetically. We came up with dance moves and the line dance, and we wanted to share it with people. So we figured the best way to do it was to give a party. So we put together that party at Tony Harris's basement. You do those great pluggers. That blew up like, oh, the pluggers were so important. They were so important to everybody, because the pluggers really let the world know that we were about something, y'all, because it wasn't nothing like that going around. But anyway, the party there helped us raise the money to go to St. Albie's. And I was working, believe it or not, I was working across the street that time with Wayne Williams. Wayne got me a job at Whitehead Pantry. We worked across the street. And I remember telling Wayne and my boss, Mr. Nunn, that, listen, you might want to get some extra people in here for Saturday, because it's going to be packed across the street. And they were laughing at me like, yeah. But guess what? Saturday came and it was packed across the street, man. Father Calicut couldn't believe it. He was like, "You're not going to get more people than Craig Thompson." And I said, "Well, I hope we do." Man, we got more people than Craig Thompson got to go to St. Albie's, because we had that general public. And what inspired me, and it was just a natural, progression, was just to try to have a good image and to try to be something that people could respect, and give people something to, kind of admire a little bit. Hopefully, it's all a crapshoot anyway. You don't know. So we rolled the dice, and I'm happy with the way things worked out. We could have lasted longer, but that's another thing.
Well, yeah. Speak to that. Well, two things on that. Now, the first party, given at our fellow member Dave's
basement.
home.
Yeah.
After the success of that, because it was really packed for a house party, a lot of people spilling out into the street and such, something that no one, I don't think, expected. But after it happened, did that change your outlook on the group in any way? Did that change what you thought you could or would want to do with the group?
Well, yeah, I guess that was sort of a test, for us to see, well, what if we do give a party? What would happen? And if we charge 75 cents, how much can we make?
Or if we give a party, would anyone come? Is that the idea?
Exactly. Would anybody show up? And that question was answered in spades. Let me just, in regard to this first party that we gave at Dave's house, I always imagine that, we said, okay, Dave, you got the biggest basement. Do us a favor, go home and ask your mom, can we give a party in her basement? And he said he went home and said, hey, Mom, can I give a party? She said, oh, sure, honey. Oh, yeah, baby, it's okay. But I'm sure she was shocked as we were, if not more, when those people kept coming through that door to go into her house, and they just wouldn't stop coming. So we made a lot of money that night off of 75 cents. They had about $300-400 was what it cost to rent the hall. And that was amazing. We did it, and it definitely gave us insight and hope. And again, it grew and grew, and it wouldn't have grown if the pieces weren't in place, if the people weren't there and the pieces weren't in place.
Now that first party, because that was so successful and made so much money where no one was really expecting that, there also was no real trouble to speak of. Cops weren't called to break up stuff necessarily, so to speak. There was a lot of commotion, a lot of noise, as would be with any crowd. But because it was not the kind of thing that ended up having to get busted up,
yeah,
the crowd was apparently well behaved. Did that surprise you? And if it did, what did that tell you about the kind of following that the doctors were getting behind it?
This is so important to the history of the doctors. The what you just mentioned, Jamie. Remember that we went to an all-boys school. We weren't no punks, in other words, y'all. Okay? I mean, sure, it was a Catholic school, go to church, whatever. But this is an all-boys school. We had athletes. I'm talking about scholarships and stuff. So we weren't any punks. So there wasn't like a fear of the gangs and stuff, but it was a realization that, hey, we might have to throw down one of these days. So you did have that kind of in the back of your mind. But the way we circumvent and navigate our way through life, the way we carried ourselves, what was important to us, it didn't really coincide with like a rowdy type of a crowd or those sort of things. But they were going on in the city, and a couple of things. First of all, the newspaper cover of the New Expression that we ended up, they took our picture. We were on there twice actually, but the headlines: social clubs versus gangs. In other words, we had created something where we gave alternatives. We gave alternatives to people where you could, if you want to go out and have fun, well, check these guys out. They seem to be doing okay. But if you want to try to drop out of school or be a gay, sell drugs or whatever, well, then you want to go over there. But you don't want to come over here. So when we gave our party at St. Albie's, now the first party, we didn't have any problem like you said. But at St. Albie's, we had a problem. But it was not publicized. St. Albie's is over there by 93rd, over near States, Stony Island. And they have a 93rd, they have a gang over there called 9 Trey at the time. And they heard about the party at St. Albie's. So they came to the party, but by the time they got there, it was so crowded that we had to shut the doors. Word got to me that there was some gang outside. They were going to start some trouble if they couldn't get into the party. So I had to get a couple of my guys from the all-boy high school to go out here just in case. And I had to talk to whoever was in charge. So I go, I'm like, hey, who's in charge? What's going on? He said, hey man, we want to come in. I said, okay, well, I tell you what, you can come in here. I said, but I think y'all in 9-track. I said, so look, I don't have nothing to do, we don't care. This is a party. If you want to come, first of all, you got to pay. But second of all, don't come in here starting no trouble. Now, I know I sound big and bad now in 2018, but I didn't deliver it quite that way. But I delivered it in a way that, was respectable. Because, I wasn't trying to get anything started. We wanted to be successful. And and guess what? They agreed, no problems. And they came to the party and everybody had a good time. And it seemed like everywhere I went, the so-called roughnecks and all that, they were coming, they were being more and more friendly towards me and towards our group. And so ultimately, we didn't have to worry about anything. Let me tell you something. Anybody watching this camera right now, I'm gonna swear to God, this is incredible, but you need to know this to really appreciate how beautiful everything was. Mendel, we're talking about a gymnasium, okay, first of all. Then with another floor on the bottom, and then they had this big alcove out front. And standing room only, ladies and gentlemen, standing room only. In the stands, guess how many security guards we had? We might have been like 5,000 to 7,000 people up in there. I'm not kidding. It was jam-packed. Guess how many security guards we had? We had the Chicago police, and we had some teachers. We had maybe 3 or 4 teachers, Mr. Adams, Mr. Bush, Father O'Grady, and 1 police officer. 1. I think his name was, dang on it. Man, I can't remember his name. His son, I know his son, he said his father came home one time talking about, he said, man, it's incredible that it's not just a couple of good kids. This is like thousands and thousands of good kids that I don't have to worry about. I don't need backup. I look forward to, he was the only security guard that we had for years. Just 1. And the doctors were only around for two, maybe 3 years anyway. But that is a testament to what can happen when you encourage positivity and you don't encourage negativity. Go ahead.
Now, you were one of the ones that created this. I mean, collectively, obviously, we all founded a group, but you were one of the ones that conceived this. What did that mean to you that there was such a positive effect taking place in the community, and that you were even getting whatever respect was being given by, say, gang elements and such? What was that to you? What did that mean?
It was a heck of a responsibility, man. I felt it, and I knew that I had to carry myself a certain kind of way. I knew that people were going to be looking to me to lead and to help them in their endeavors. Remember we were saying about how clubs spawned other groups and people were coming to me like, Bob, can you help me? Can you help me give a party? Can you help me give a party, Bob? And I was like, man, I don't know how to give a party. They're like, yes, you do. You're in the doctors, man. And you should, but so that let me know I had a responsibility as a leader, and it helped me become, I feel, a pretty daggone good leader, and in a way to learn how to communicate with people. It taught me that, and I just took everything and I cherished and I carried it. After I graduated school, I went to college. I took it there. I took it to all of my different jobs and stuff, and everywhere I go, I take it with me. I know so many people that I forgot most of the people that I know. But it's like, that's just part of life. It seems, and you can relate to being with people that are celebrated. You can relate to what they go through.
Well, what do you think, given everything that was actually happening, everything that the group made happen, all the positive feedback, everything that happened, what do you think was the greatest benefit that you were able to get personally out of that?
The greatest benefit? It made me know without a doubt, for certain, 100%, that if you work hard, if you try to do, you can do whatever you want to do in life. You can accomplish, you can be whatever you want to be, you can do, but you have to do the work. Don't forget, see, if you leave the work out, then you ain't gonna get nothing. You know, people don't know, man. I tell them all the time. We used to practice like maniacs. We used to practice so daggone much. It was pathetic. You got to know, we ain't got it. One more time. Do it again. Do it again. So that's what, you know, when you get something like that to happen to you individually and you see it firsthand, then you can believe. There's nothing that you can't not do. You can do anything. We can you can do anything. You can be anybody. It's just, you just got to put the work in. If you do the work, you get the results.
Well, now that's definitely a good philosophy. What do you think it was that separated the doctors from everyone else? Granted, the doctors influenced a lot, but the doctors were still regarded as the best of the bunch and still regarded as highest caliber, etc. What do you think it was that contributed to that, or that helped the doctors maintain that, where there were so many other groups that did not exceed the doctors?
You had to have the personnel. You got to have the personnel. You got to have the talent, you know. And we went through some changes. The doctors went through some changes. But because of personalities like yours, Jamie, like Darian's, you got to have that killer, you know, to know that you can, ain't nobody better than me in this now, you know, so we had that. And then we get Rory. Come on. Rory was worse than everybody else. So we had that confidence that we could do it because of, but the confidence didn't come early. We had to build, but we earned that respect and confidence. We built that confidence and we earned the respect. So, you know, it was just a part of the people, the creativity, and the voracious go-gettiness. I mean, we went after it, okay? We didn't hide, you know, we challenged. We had a dance contest at the Park Palladium, and we were like, whoever wins this contest, we're gonna challenge the winner, the winning group. We knew who was gonna win, but we knew, but we put it out there. We made a public call, and the Disease Boys won, and we faced off at that party, and we handled our business. And I'm gonna tell you, we still, me and Arthur, everybody was still friends. That's another thing too. I want everybody to know. Even though we were competing and all that, we were all friends. We were family. Everywhere we went, you know, we traveled in groups and it was just so fantastic. I laugh, I smile, I cry when I think about it. It's just, nobody had a life like me in high school. It's just nobody. There's no way.
Now, with you heard my take on the doctor's legacy, if you will. What do you think the doctors contributed to, say, the social scene at the time, or even the house scene, if you want to talk on that? And what do you also think that being at Mendel, and Mendel as a school, as an institution itself, contributed to the doctors being able to be whatever we were?
Wow, I give Mendel a ton of credit, man. The high school with the college campus, okay? Come on. It was a beautiful campus. We had a lagoon out front, you guys. We had free parking everywhere. I mean, it was so awesome. But the legacy and the history of Mendel, there's a saying, walking in the door, you guys, that Mendel stands for men who deliver. Men are gentlemen. Those are things that Mendel instilled in me that I carry to this day. And I carried it as a doctor too. I remember, I say men or gentlemen. I remember we used to have the pluggers, and the pluggers were like invitations. You had to get the pluggers to the people at the different schools so they could take it to school with them and promote the parties to everybody else. And a lot of times they were all, like we had an all boys school, they had all girls schools too. And I would go visit some of these girls, and you don't know what it's like, man, for a girl's mother. You don't know. She come to you and say, so you're Bob Peters. I done heard a lot about you. And they still let me in the house.
And
I'm just saying. But our reputation preceded us, and I think we must have done okay because nobody said, oh no, don't let that boy in my house. But man, Mendel, the whole collective is how we ended up the way we were. It could not have happened. If you didn't if you went to Kenwood, if Darian never came from St. James, if I would have gone to Quigley or Leo, none of this stuff would have happened. So it was all the right place, the right time, and we took advantage of it. I don't think we took advantage of it the way Wayne and them took advantage of it and made their life off of it and everything. But we stopped early. When we broke up, I started promoting individually, giving parties by myself. And then Warren McBride, he went to Mendel with us too. He came from St. James and he went to Kenwood he in the senior year. But me and Warren are best buddies. Warren actually, Jamie, remember Warren's the only guy that ever drew a plugger beside you. He drew that one for the Burning Spear. That's the only plug.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. But so I was talking about Warren. I saying that we. Oh man.
You're talking about you're doing parties individually.
Right. There you go.
And then you were doing some with Warren.
Right. Me and Warren joined teams, and then Warren went away to school. He went to Northern. That's what happened. So I was like, giving parties. I wanted to give another party by myself. So I went to good old reliable Craig Thompson. I was like, hey Craig, man, let's give a party together. He's like, Bob, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. What you talking about, man? What do you want to give me? That's the way he talks. So, but he didn't want to give a party with me. But he said, what you want to do, man? You ought to call my buddies, man, Robert and Ziggy, man, over at U.S. Studio Warehouse, man. Give them a call, and you can give a party over there, man. I'll make the call for you, man. So he made the call for me, man. So then I called him. I met Robert and I met Ziggy. Ziggy's long gone. Robert's still with us. God bless everybody. But he let me give that party there, and they let me give a party there. And that, to me, is when house music movement started. Now, I'm not a DJ. I'm not into that. But that party, the reason why is because I invited the general public to the warehouse that didn't know about U.S. Studio Warehouse. And then 2 weeks later, it caused such a ruckus. Wait. The party that I gave, it caused such a ruckus. It was a blue jean disco. It caused such a ruckus, you guys. I keep talking about Wayne because Wayne and I went to grammar school together. But anyway, they moved and they lived across the street from Aquinas Dominican High School. Right. And I must have given this party during the school year because I don't remember the date, but Wayne called me that Monday, woke me up and said, Bob, what the heck happened? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, man, seriously, what happened? I said, what you mean? I gave a party. What you talking about? Bob, if you came up to Aquinas right now and just stood across the street, you would cause a riot. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, man, everybody's talking about this party, dude. What happened? I said, well, it's a gay club, right? I didn't tell anybody. I kept it a secret. And everybody was shocked and in awe. But it caused a heck of a commotion. And guess what happened? 2 weeks later, my man, Tony Smith, who's helping us today create all of this, he gave a party at the warehouse. And he never looked back. I mean, it was huge, and the whole thing just kept growing and growing and growing. The music was growing. Wayne and them, Jesse came to my party. That he wrote about in his the history of house music. Mm-hmm. In other words, he couldn't really tell the story of house music without bringing up the blue jean disco. And it was very integral, you know, because a lot of people experiencing it, everyone wanted to go after that. And of course, Frankie Knuckles was the DJ. So he introduced a music style I had never in my life experienced anything like that, except for when we went to the Den. Craig Thompson gave a party at the Den one time. I think we all went to that too. But that's why I was exposed to that style of mixing the music and making those songs just so daggone beautiful, man. So, it was destined for greatness, but it wouldn't have got there if all those pieces didn't fall into place like that. So here we are today. Now I'm just making music and stuff now and working every day. So I'm working every day. So here we are in 2018.
Well, if there was anything you could have changed about what happened with the Doctors during his lifetime afterwards, if there was anything about the Doctors at all that you could have changed if you had a chance to relive that, what would it be?
Man, that is a beautiful question. We would have never broken up. I'd have never let Darian go. I'd have never let you go. I'd have never let Rory go. The four of us, because it was just the four of us at the end, and we would have stayed together. If I could have changed everything, that's the one thing I wish we could have just stayed together a little longer. Because we finally figured it out. We finally figured out what the heck was going on, but everybody went their separate ways. But man, if that party, if we had you remember the Blizzard, that party was going to be like the biggest party the city probably had ever seen, because it was a blizzard all day long. And they called us to the office again. Hey man, we keep getting all these calls from people. Are you guys going to have your party or not? And it's like, just imagine, y'all, the schools call us, hey, are you going to have that party? We're kids. We were just kids, man. But we had to, we said, we made an executive decision to not have the daggone party because we thought it was too dangerous. But come to find out that a little snow don't hurt nobody, and we should have had the daggone party. That would have been, maybe that's my biggest regret, that we didn't have that party. But I wish we would have stayed together and stretched it out a little bit longer.
Now, what about you personally? Because you, like so many of us, you did not stay in that particular party scene per se. You didn't keep doing party promotions or active in it.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets about that? Is there anything you would have changed if you had a chance to redo?
No. Me and my sister, my older sister Deanne, we started giving fashion shows, man. We were doing runway shows, and we had a unique style. We incorporate a lot of movement. We called it Models Unlimited, the D. Peters Enterprises. We called it fashion entertainment. We would do scenes. So it was really pretty much picking up where I left off, because she would choreograph the girl models and I would choreograph the guy models. And then we put the shows on. We knew all the designers, and we'd meet everybody and put the shows together, the music and everything. So I actually continued. Me and Batman even got a space on 18th and Wabash, and we were gonna open it up. Well, we did open it up, and we called it East Hollywood Mannequins. It was, believe it or not, it was like a carbon copy of the warehouse. You had to go up these stairs. You had a little room up top, then you go down some other stairs, and that's where the party was. My DJ was Joe Smooth, celebrated disc jockey. I'm telling you, you guys don't know all the celebrities. Steve Hurley, Joe Smooth, all these DJs. It's been huge, man. Cat Glover, We could talk about it forever, but yeah. Afterwards, I kind of left the party scene, like you said, and I just, like you said, me and my sister got together. We did some things, and life just started, living. I just got a job, and there you go.
What would you like, or I should ask first, what do you think the legacy of the Doctors is? And what would you like the legacy of the Doctors to be? And what would you like your own individual legacy to be? How would you like people to remember both the Doctors and you?
Thank you. Thank you for asking that question. I want people to remember the Doctors for helping begin the Mendel experience as far as music is concerned. I want the Doctors to be like celebrated like in the Hall of Fame for being the basis of the Mendel experience. They carried them on, about 10 years after we graduated. And what they did was the money that they generated, it took the place of the money that was gone when because our enrollment it went down. Our class in 1974, our freshman class, was the first all-black class. I like to say all-American class at Mendel Catholic, and then there weren't really any other influx of white guys coming to our school. So the money that the school generated to pay their bills and stuff, it went down. But the revenue from the bi-levels took up that space. Man, I heard they put all new windows on the school. And if you saw how big the school was, then you knew how many daggone windows that took, and it wasn't cheap. So to hear about the bi-levels being able to do stuff like that for the school to keep it going, that's what I want to be remembered. For me personally, I'm glad you asked me this, man. I want people to remember that it seemed like Bob was all over the daggone place. Man, he had his hands in everything. Where'd this guy come from? Look, we had the Doctors, okay? Me and Wayne went to grammar school together. We did we on a newspaper. We giving parties everywhere. We had an awesome dance called the Operation, you guys. And then I graduated. I'm promoting these parties and working everywhere. And then I give that party at the warehouse. And so I want to be remembered as a guy that knew how to have a good time. Want to make sure everybody else had a good time. And that, life is fun. Some people, take things and try to make it difficult. It's not difficult. It's easy. It's a lot of work. Again, you got to put the work in. But life is beautiful, and I want everybody to know that it's going to be a better day, and that if we all try, we can succeed. And that's just what I believe, man. That's just what I believe, that we just put our best foot forward. We'll never be disappointed.
And cut. There you go. Good one.
Thanks,
good
man. Thanks, man. Dude, the phone went off, man. I was so mad about that.
That'll be okay.
But you know what?
You'll just splice that out.
I
You'll
hope
be
so.
okay.